truth is that being open and transparent, being vulnerable as an organization with employees and customers can build loyalty and trust that will blow companies away. So this really is the answer. We don't have a choice, but it's a good thing. It's a great thing.
And I think we've talked a little bit about this all morning long, that if you do not do this right, that there is a bottom line impact, whether it's a $2 billion loss in market capitalization, the disenfranchised employees who are doing weird things with pizzas, or if you do it right, you can have a bottom line impact on the positive side of things, engaging employees, getting them to be a part of the solution, and that requires a new form of leadership. It requires a lot of things that we want to tell you the integral pieces about.
And Perry mentioned in her presentation this morning that there really is data, lots of data to demonstrate that an engaged workforce equals financial benefits, but it's more important now than ever. I'll just give you some stats. 78% of engaged employees would recommend their company's products and services. An important thing, you really want that to happen. Well, if 2/3 are disengaged, we're in trouble, because only 13% of disengaged employees will actually recommend the company's products and services. Engaged employees are much more likely to understand the needs of their customers, and of course, likewise, disengaged employees are less likely, much less likely to understand the needs of the customers. Engaged employees are willing to advocate for their company, which is so important now that everyone has a presence and is representing the company externally, again, whether they know it or not. And those who are disengaged won't advocate for their company and sometimes are willing to do things that will really seriously harm the company.
And our leaders are bright. I mean, they've seen the same data. They get it. 90% of them say, I know that I need to have an engaged workforce. The tough part is putting it into action. While they say they know what it is,
I mean, they must all have plans, right?
I'm sure they all have plans. We probably help craft them. But you know what? Only 1 in 4 says they haven't. I remember hearing Tom Peters one time asking a group of CEOs, how many of you have a vision for your organization? And all the hands went up. He said, how many of you share it with people so that it's enabled? And about half of the hands dropped. He said, if you're not out there sharing it, if you're not working the plan, you don't have a plan. So what we want to do is take you through what we think are sort of the steps that will help build that engaged workforce. And it really comes down to sort of 3 elements that we think come out of communication. And first deals with that whole notion of leadership and the new definition of leadership, and we're calling it an authentic connection.
And this is really the connection that a manager has with their employee, a connection that a leader has with the workforce that is very real. And we'll give you some examples in a moment.
It's also looking at information, making sure that it gets into the hands of employees in the right way and the right time, and maybe on their terms instead of ours. I think one of the things that we need to do as communications professionals is re-examine this notion of sender-centric communication and look at receiver-centric communication instead.
And we're not just putting the information out, we're enabling the communication in today's world.
I think it's also, what do you do with that information once you've got it? What we really need to do is, and we've talked about the social media policies as a stepping stone in that direction, how do you let employees use that information in a powerful way?
Mm-hmm. And how can they get involved and really feel like they're making a difference in the world and that they're contributing to an organization that's making